The courts of Gilnor have once again called upon us to prosecute or defend somebody in the courts, which is kind of what the courts do, isn't it? But this time it is the sawmill operator who is being accused of running a monopoly because, yeah, he is the sole plank producer outside of Prif Dennis, which, didn't even exist until we helped it come back. I mean, it's probably not existed since he opened his business. So, yeah, he's kind of had a bit of a monopoly here, and you would think, given that it's literally just chopping up wood into planks, that there'd probably be a little bit of competition. I mean, geez, there's probably a huge profit margin there. I've gone ahead and started it. We have our case reports here, so we can go ahead and just spam through these to make sure it counts as us reading them. And in case we need to match fingerprints, which I kind of doubt, given this, we can go ahead and maybe talk to him. We might need to. Let's see, we're going to prosecute, so we have to interview Will first. I mean, maybe not first, but we're going to interview him first. Okay, so I need to ask you some questions about the Monopoly case. Fine, let's get it over with. It's a case that contains the Monopoly board game, right? Okay, so what do we need to ask him? We need to go through all the chat options. Okay. Did you help Bill to build his super steady plank making machine? Help him, I designed it. I'm a natural with machines. Were you planning on using the same machine when you started your own business? Well, yeah, it was my idea, so why shouldn't I? He had shifty eyes during that. What was it like working at the mill? It was great at first, working with the machines and learning new skills, but I got tired of just being a worker. I wanted to be my own boss. What about your coworkers? Do you get on with them? Oh, Phil and Jill are okay. We've seen some good times, although Jill is quite aloof. She thinks we shouldn't hang out as she's the overseer. Could you tell me about trying to start your own business? Well, the management structure is pretty flat at the sawmill, so I was never going to get promoted. That made me think, why can't I have my own mill? So I saved up money and started looking for locations. I wanted to take it far from Bill's mill, so I wasn't stealing his business, and Taverley seemed like a decent distance away, but every time I tried to buy land, someone had already put in a greater bid. The estate agent finally admitted that it was Bill. That's when I decided to bring in the law to sort it out. Why are you both in jail? They always have this option. When I brought suit against Bill, he countersued, so we're both here, waiting for the issue to get resolved. I don't have any more questions. Do we now have to ask the estate agent all the questions? Okay. What are you here for? I'm a witness in this case, so I have to remain here for questioning. They ran out of jail cells, so I'm just admiring the architecture of the courthouse. I could do wonders with this place. I have some questions for you. You were finding land for Will, right? Yes, Will commissioned me to find somewhere cheap and away from the sawmill. What happened? Well, Bill and I go a long way back. He started up his business when I did, and we keep in touch, so I may have mentioned to him that Will was looking for land, which sent Bill into a rage. He insisted that I inform him of any offers that Will made so he could outbid him. Yeah, this guy is so guilty, but he is making shifty eyes, which is suspicious. You agreed to that? I had to. Bill could put me out of business if he cuts off my customer's supply of planks. What can you tell me about Bill's business? Bill started his business shortly after I started mine. It was a good match since I started selling plots of lands. Since I was selling. I don't know why I said started. And he was selling the tools to improve them. We've made a great deal of money in the last few years. You both certainly know how to make a profit. What can you tell me about Bill and Will? They were like father and son. I'm sure Bill would have been more reasonable if Will had talked to him about it. Nobody needed to get dragged to court. I mean, he was already being unreasonable. It's very bad for business. Shifty eyes. I don't have any more questions. Do I have to talk to the last guy? Yes. All the chat options. I need to ask some questions about the charges against you for unfair trade. Okay, get on with it. Can you tell me about your sawmill business? I started up about 3 years ago. I saw that there was an opportunity to provide the people of RuneScape with quality building supplies. My mill's lot was in an empty and derelict area south of the wilderness, so I managed to get it at a low price. Since then, it's expanded, and I have 3 full-time workers and some work experience kids that come and go. You're the only lumber mill in all of RuneScape, is that correct? That's right. That's wrong, actually. No one can compete with my prices or efficiency. I was a bit worried when the Grand Exchange opened, but sales haven't slowed down one jot. Can you tell me about Will, your worker? I took Will in as a young lad and trained him up. He's been a good worker until he got it in his head that he'd learned all he could and wanted to go off and start his own business. I just don't understand it. Whatever happened to loyalty? Did you try talking to him about it? I did, but he didn't want to hear a word. He made me so angry that I wanted to do anything to stop him. Did you try to stop Will from opening his own business? Look, I know what you're getting at, but I was just preventing him from stealing the trade secrets that I worked hard to develop. He learned everything he knows from me and my mill, and now he wants to use that knowledge to undercut me and put me out of business. It's not right. I mean, that means you're ripping people off if he can undercut you. Why are you both in jail? We already know this. You countersued. Okay, I don't have any more questions. I think that's everything we need to do. Okay, so yeah, now we can go ahead and go in. These aren't the most exciting pieces of things to do in videos, but we gotta get them done. You know, they're required for stuff. Oh, look at all these peoples. This court is now in session. This trial has determined the guilt or innocence of the Sawmill operator for monopolizing wooden planks. Is the prosecution ready? The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Is the defense ready? The defense is ready, Your Honor. The funny thing about this case is actually that he's quite clearly guilty. A lot of them it's a bit vague, but unless the people are just outright lying, and that's what the shifty eyes means, which I don't know why the estate agent would be lying, and why he would admit to doing it if he was, yeah. I mean, this is clearly he's guilty. Kind of weird. Very well, the prosecution may present its case. Thank you, Your Honor. Members of the jury, I'm going to present you with evidence that decisively proves that Bill, the sawmill owner, monopolized the lumber industry and actively prevented any competition. Okay, file 1. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if I could draw your attention to prosecution evidence number 1, a patent filed by Bill for his super steady plank maker machine. Okay, what do we say about this? His obsessive control. This patent demonstrates Bill's need to control his company and employees. I can't imagine working somewhere where I'm so distrusted. This is a terrible argument. Like, he gave us so much evidence that, like, admitting he did it. Why? Whatever. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if I could draw your attention to prosecution evidence number 2, a letter from Bill to the estate agent. Okay, this letter does a thing, underhanded dealings. This letter proves that Bill and the estate agent conspired to prevent Will from competing. The concern about trade secrets covers up a blatant disregard for the fair trade laws. Bill doesn't seem too bothered about forcing the estate agent to sharing his trade secrets. I prevented all my physical evidence, Your Honor. I'd like to call a witness. Okay, so now we call Will and see what he has to say. Okay, Will. Could you tell me about trying to start your own business? It soon became clear that the business was relying on me more and more. I created the prototypes for all our machines, I came up with the idea to get adventurers in to make custom planks, and I was doing the majority of the work. It was time for me to move on and use that expertise for myself. As soon as I'd bid on a plot of land, though, I'd find that I was quickly outbid. It didn't take a genius to figure out that Bill was sabotaging my attempts. So I had no choice but to take him to court. Okay, is that everything? Yes, that is everything. Okay, can we get out of this? Can I do? I would like to call a witness. I would like to call Bill. There's good old Bill. Alright, Bill, can you tell me about trying to stop him? Did you try to stop Will from opening his own business? Looky here, I know what you're going to try to get me to say. I tried to stop him from opening his own business, but for good reason. He knew everything about the lumberyard, our wholesale contacts, the workings of our machinery, even our profit margins. He could undercut the lumberyard with very little effort. That doesn't give you the right to push him out of the business altogether. Yeah, it's like, he's clearly guilty. Okay, do I want to summarize? Yes. I would like to summarize my case. I would like to appeal to the young man, which is here. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I have presented evidence that conclusively proves the defendant prevented a genuine attempt to provide some competition. We can't allow corporations of this size to choose who they compete against. It's not fair to the people of RuneScape that they can only receive planks from one man and his inflated prices. Competition must be allowed to grow and prosper. Very well, now the defense may present their case. Members of the jury, I'm going to present evidence that is a lie. If I could draw your attention to... I'm being totally non-biased in this. If I could draw your attention to prosecution evidence number 1, a patent filed by Bill for a super steady plank maker machine. This patent demonstrates Bill's caution when protecting his ideas in business. Any prudent businessman would do the same, or face ruin from industrial espionage. Has nothing to do with the case. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if I could draw your attention to prosecution evidence number 2, a letter from Bill to the estate agent. This letter doesn't disclose any underhanded dealings at all. Too bad he already admitted to them. It's vague about the kind of action that Bill plans to take and shows, if anything, that Bill was right to be concerned about his apprentice. The defense calls Bill. Did you try to stop Will from opening his own business? Yes, I did. Not to prevent competition, though. I simply prevented him from stealing trade secrets. Will learned everything he knows from me and my mill, and now he's taking those secrets to start his own business. That's not competition, that's theft. No, that's what happens when people work for your company. Kinda how things work. You were just trying to protect the trade secrets that your business relies on to function. Yeah, it's not really a trade secret if you're the only business, though. It's just monopoly secrets. Yes, without those trade secrets, my business wouldn't be able to stand up to new competition. We need them to survive. Defense calls Will. What can you tell me about Bill? Bill was great. He took me in when I was a kid and trained me up. I'd been a bit of a troublemaker before that, and he straightened me out. So you have a history of making trouble? That's not what I meant. I made trouble as a kid, but now I just want to start my own business. But that makes trouble for Bill. Wow, that is a terrible argument. Why are you agreeing? I think that will be enough. It's time for you to summarize your case to the jury. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I have presented evidence that conclusively proves the defendant is stupid. For businesses to succeed, we have to protect our ideas and trade secrets. Without doing that, we encourage employees to steal and ruin their employers through competition. I believe we've heard enough. Would the jury please announce their verdict? Guilty! Like, it'd be one thing if he'd, like, stolen the thing that was patented, even though he supposedly invented it, so that doesn't even make sense. But whatever. You are hereby declared guilty by a jury of your peers. You will be sentenced in due course. Hooray! Like, if they wanted this to be fair, they could have said that he had actually purchased the land, or he had built a machine or something. That was the one that was patented. Like, that would have made this a more fair trial in terms of being able to choose either one. But as it is, he was clearly guilty. Well, hello, I'm glad you stopped by. I have a reward from you. Yay! From you, for you, whatever. Combat XP lamp, 30 teak planks, and a mystery box. What's in the mystery box? It is... Hey, that's not bad. That's actually quite good. Better than the teak planks, isn't it? Yeah. As for this, I mean, summoning would make sense, but Herblore is quite a skill to get free XP in. But it is higher level, so technically I think summoning might be the better choice. Alright. Speaking of levels, though, this is what my levels are at. Not changed too much. I made, like, 200k progress on fletching. I'll probably make a lot of progress tonight, I think. Yesterday I didn't have much time, and I fell asleep very early. But I still got like 200k done, so yeah, it actually goes really fast when you're just watching a stream or something. So I anticipate no problems getting 99 soon. It's just that it might be a few episodes still. I know I gained an attack level from doing Dominion Tower. I'm very close to a prayer level. So, yeah, now that this is done, we can have a little bit of a talk about Dominion Tower, because I've been doing it. I mean, it's pretty fun. I enjoy it. There's some weird things I've noticed. Okay, so first of all, once you get past, like, a certain floor, I'm not sure the exact number, but it seems to be around where when you have all the buffs and debuffs in Climber, it kind of stops having certain bosses. Like, this latest run, I got to floor 61 and then quit because you max out at 1,000,000 Dominion factor, and that's when I got it. But, yeah, like, after I got to, like, 20-something, I stopped seeing Elvarg, I stopped seeing Dawn, I stopped seeing the Golems, I stopped seeing Count Draenor, and probably a couple others. The two deserty guys that are kind of annoying, because they're not hard, but they're just annoying. But yeah, it's kind of weird. It's very nice that Elvarg doesn't show up, because Elvarg is actually impossible in Climber mode if you have both the anti-potion and anti-shield debuffs, which is really annoying. It never used to be the case, but now Elvarg lowers your stats so fast. Like, maybe if I was maxed level and had slightly better equipment, I could possibly win. You also, I think if you have the abilities going, since your level gets lowered instantly almost to 1, you can't use abilities, so I think I actually have to, like, switch off to, like, the melee one or something to do the thing. But, yeah, it's a thing. A bit of an annoying thing. But luckily Elvarg stops appearing, so as long as you can, you know, avoid getting both of those or avoid getting Elvarg before you hit that point, then you should be fine. What I've not figured out is if there's a certain ones it doesn't have, or if, like, it chooses a set amount that there is from the selection, so you might get, you know, a set where you get Elvarg every 10 battles or something. Who knows? But the point is, it does mean I can quite easily get to floor 249, which is the highest floor. There's not much of a point to getting there. The only thing it does is show off on your Dominion marker, which I've unlocked the stage 2 one, I just haven't gotten it yet. Come on, let me deploy it. Okay, we'll get outside the bank. It probably uses the same rules as fire. Yeah, but yeah, you can read this and you can see, yeah, 61, and I gained 63 in endurance. Killed 7 in rumble mode. I was wondering if there's a way to check that. That is a really annoying requirement, and it's to upgrade your Dominion medallion, which is actually a really good thing. But yeah, that's my current factor. So I looked it up, and to get on the front page of the high scores, which is the top 25, you need, like, basically 85k Dominion factor, which is not bad. I predict that to be maybe about 50 hours of work based on my current levels and items, which is not terrible to get to the front page, which is ridiculous. Because right now the 25th person is like 84-something K. But we can look here if it'll actually load. Yeah, we are ranked 37.8k right now, which is pretty dang cool. And I think to get in the top 10k, it's not that bad. Like, I could probably get there in a few hours of work, which is pretty cool. I mean, not top 10k, a top 1k. Ugh. Top 10k, I could probably get there in like 1 hour of work. All things considered. Let's go ahead and head on up to Prifdinnis, I guess, just for fun. Get away from this jerk. But yeah, that was just something weird I noticed. And I still really wish that they would add a way to block ones, because I gotta tell you, the Chronozon gets really annoying just having to use those 4 spells, and I can't even imagine having more bosses. But the other thing I want to discuss is there is another boss that I didn't notice, which is Solus from Wanted, which is a quest that I actually have found out I need to do, because it's useful for getting through the hard Falador tasks, which get you white lilies, which are pretty nice, and just, you know, in general. But he's a real easy boss. I mean, if I could go back in time, I don't remember, what quest does Chronozon come from? Is that Legends? No, Family Crest. Yeah, I guess I couldn't really avoid Chronozon then. But I probably would have avoided one of the other bosses if I could go back in time and done Solus instead. Like, maybe the Golems, because they do get a bit annoying. Like, they're not hard, they're just annoying. And I don't know... They're required for missing my mummy, though. and Shadow of the Storm. Yeah, I don't know that there would have been a way to avoid any of the annoying bosses I have, but I mean, he's supposed to be easy, so probably do that in the near future. But I'm thinking the next quest we might do is probably Recruitment Drive, just because that is required for so many things. It's required for Wanted, I believe. It's required for Kenneth's Concerns, I believe, which is required for the Ardoin Cloak, which I would really like to upgrade. It's just required for so many things. So I think that might be a quest we do very soon. And also What Lies Below, because that is also required for things. And I would like to do... what is that quest called? I can't remember. It's Defender of Varrock. Yeah, I'd like to do that one soon. That would be definitely one that would be nice. And that requires What Lies Below and Temple of Ikov and Garden of Tranquility. And apparently you have to claim kudos for completing Shield of Arav. That's kind of weird. You could go do that right now, but what would be the point? Let me think. What else? What else? Oh, right. Revolution Plus Plus came out today. It's kind of disappointing because you don't get to choose per action bar. So, yeah, not all action bars would be the same size. So it's kind of annoying. Regardless, I just tossed this together real quick for Dominion Tower. I just basically put Asphyxiate to the front, and then I replaced the normal stun one with Deep Impact, which is a threshold that is slightly better, because I assume that you won't get Dirac often enough for it to really matter on that. I don't know. I'm gonna wait, and hopefully in a couple weeks there'll be like a huge list of all the like ideal setups for Revolution Plus Plus. But they're thinking they'll add buttons to where you can at least say like I don't want to use thresholds or ultimates right now. The sad thing is apparently they're gonna remove special attack, because right now it's glitched, and apparently they didn't mean to have it even enabled, which is disappointing. But whatever. I mean, they actually made special attack stronger with this update, I believe. Is kind of cool, I guess. I do use the special attack occasionally. Trying to think, I feel like there was something else I'm forgetting, but I don't know what. I mean, I'm gonna keep doing fletching, obviously. Keep doing Dominion Tower. We'll be getting some prayer levels from that. Oh yeah, from 1 million Dominion factor from one thing. The reward, I earned about 200k-ish coins in the rewards themselves. And as far as the XP, I think it was about 80k XP, maybe? 80 something, maybe like 87. It's hard to remember the exact number. But yeah, and it took maybe 30-ish minutes with me kind of semi-AFKing and not really paying attention. So yeah, I mean, it's not bad to get that much money and that much prayer experience for free every 30 minutes. I'd say it's pretty good. Plus working on the high scores and all. And getting the kills for the rewards and stuff. Yeah, what sucks about training prayer right now is that really until I get 95, I really don't want to trade over to the curses. So that kind of sucks how far I have to go. Like until then, I mean, sure, I get soul split at like 92, but I don't know that I'd want soul split without having these. So really the only thing that would be useful before then is just getting the guy in the ports, because we still don't have a port skill at 90, although smithing is getting close, so that's good. Yeah, other than that though, things are going well. I'm pretty happy with the progress we're making. Let me think, what else? Oh, they accidentally, I guess, announced next week's update today, which obviously I'm recording this Monday. Yeah, it's called Going Like Clockwork, and it's basically one of those events where you get a bunch of items. You have to get 10,000 clockwork pieces and return them to Ira and Berthope before the boss returns. Skilling, PVM, and daily challenges will yield pieces, and so does catching snow implings. And I'm guessing also Treasure Hunter, because why wouldn't it? But you can also cash them in for mystery boxes, and that contains Christmas items from 2014 and 2015, which includes things like the Christmas loot beam, which will be tradable now as a token. So that is something to look forward to next week, I guess. I mean, hopefully it's a reasonable rate for skilling, because it would suck if it wasn't. But either way, we will hopefully be getting that done. What else? What else? I think that's about it, though. We're getting real close to 200 quest points. And I'm actually one Slayer task away. I've been doing the thing where I get them from the guy in Canifis, for the all but the 10th one. But the 150th one's going to be a ton of points. I think 270 from Kuradel, or 300 if I get Combat 120 and take it from the guy over there. Which I'm kind of tempted to. I could probably quite easily get Combat 120 pretty fast through Dominion Tower. Because, I mean, it was 80k prayer experience, but in these other skills, I think it was like almost maybe like 160 or 180k in magic if I had done that instead. So, like, I could progress pretty fast, like, if I just tossed it into something like attack, which is pretty low, and would level up a little faster. But yeah, I was really tempted to, but I just really want prayer, and I can train combat just through Slayer anyway, so I don't see the point, really. But yeah, I think that's everything. I've talked enough, lengthened this episode needlessly, so I will see you guys next time with a quest.